Hi guys, I'm back again, and today I'm going to make another video, and this time I'm going to actually go through the Drum and Mate episode 2, but I'm going to do it a little bit faster, so I'm just going to show you the loop instead of you having to watch the whole thing. So yeah, let's get started. So first of all, let's just listen to the whole loop. So that's our loop here, and now I'm just going to go through everything so you can hear every individual sound. So let's start from the top with the kick. So for the kick I took 2 kicks actually, and this one is the RA kick or RE. Nothing too crazy actually, and I layered it with the RA kick 2. As you can hear, I will just show this one because it has this high frequency stuff going on, the clicky one, but also a really nice bottom, and they are together this nice new kick. So it's really punchy and it's really pushing all the time, and I decided to take this one actually because of the bass line, because the bass line was the first thing I had. You can watch the whole video how I did it in the LFO bassline trick, how to make spicy basses, something like this. Yeah, so let's listen to that. I'm going to show you really short how I actually did it. So I'm using Helm. It's a free plug-in synthesizer which I really love. So if you take this one, you can just take one oscillator as you see here, and you can modulate it with an LFO, and if you set the time or the frequency of the modulation to some rhythmical value which you have here, from like for example the half and here the fourth, then you can just put the modulation. I can just click on it and then just drag and drop, or not drag and drop, but just drag or pull it down, and now it's modulating. And I also have one here going, so it's a little bit more interesting. It's not just this half beat, and I also put it on this one. So no, I put it on the formants, sorry. So this one is changing the formants all the time, and the formants are basically all the vocals you can produce with your mouth, or vocal cords, the O, U, I, A. So yeah, and it's just going through all of these frequencies with this modulation frequency from the LFO. Yeah, and I mean that's all, that's the bass line. And it sounds really nice actually, and it's just one note, so it's just B0 all the time. But as I just told you, you can watch the video where I explain it a little bit more into detail. Yeah, I have a Voxengo span for the frequencies to check them out, and more important is a compressor which you can use to sidechain it to the kick, because whenever the kick comes in, it just makes it a little bit more quiet, which is good because both are in the low frequency domain, and you won't want them to fight against each other, because it would just result in a too loud bottom end, and you don't want that. Yeah, you can also check out it in scope so that you get an idea of the dynamics, you know, how loud is the loudest and how quiet is the quietest part. And yeah, I also took away a tiny bit from the bottom end because it was just resonating a little bit too much. I could probably do it in hand too, but I was too lazy. Yeah, so let's listen to it with the kick together. It's really punchy with the kick, but it makes sense in the whole mix. So that's one of the things you shouldn't forget about. So sometimes if you solo two things, it sounds like shit, but once you hear it in the whole context, it makes sense at once. So let's add the clap too. I actually have two claps here. I mean a snare and a clap. So the clap part is this one. It's layered too. So I have these two ones. I just turn on the effects first. So this one is the first clap, and I put this clap underneath. So once again, you have a really full sound in the low range, and by layering in the mid-range, like clap and snare, you have a really punchy mid-range as well, and that's what you want because it translates really well through the speakers in a club. So yeah, I also put the Fab filter Saturn on it, which is a multi-band saturator, so that you have some harmonic content, so that you can hear the high frequencies and the mid-range frequencies a little bit better, and you have some more harmonics. I turn it on to show it to you. You can hear the sudden change. So it just adds a little bit of high end. And yeah, I have also the corpus, so I'm recommending the corpus all the time because it can make your individual sounds much more characteristic, so it doesn't sound boring at all. And it's basically a resonance body which you can add to your original sound. So just like you have a guitar string which you pluck with your finger, and without the body it wouldn't sound the way it sounds. So you are going to add the body so that it creates the harmonics by having standing waves depending on the size of the guitar. And yeah, you have some different options. You can take a plate one or a beam, marimba, string, so every kind of stuff you actually want to, and you can just really experiment with it. So you can hear the tonal quality coming at once, and I can just make it a little bit higher, like that. So one thing I can recommend you is to pay attention to the general harmony of the track. So if it's, let's say, in F3, I mean it's a little bit detuned by 33 cents, but once you have a harmony, like you have an A-7 chord going on, then you don't want to take anything much which is like A sharp, you know. I mean you can do it, but it's not in the chord, so it's going to sound a little bit weird. So I can recommend you, whenever you begin to work with the corpus, for example, to copy and paste it to other elements too, what I do all the time. And then you have like a harmony in a whole track without actually knowing where it comes from, but it's because all of this corpus and harmonic elements. So yeah, let's turn on the snare too. Once again, I picked the corpus, but I have the string version on this one, so it sounds a little bit more metallic. And it really is for the nice sharp transient, and also for the high end. Maybe they are like just a little bit too loud. Then there are some things I didn't use, so Then I created a call and response kind of thing, which you can hear here. So because it's from the series Drum and Mates, so I was using the drum kit C78, and I try to use it as often as possible. So this is actually just a weird pattern I just created, so just to listen to it. And once again, corpus. The same tune, so I copy pasted it, don't forget it. And it really sounded like something with like a call and response kind of thing. So I created the response too. And this one is the same drum kit, I just copy pasted it too. And I took just another resonant body once again. So it's a membrane here, and here it's a plate. And yeah, I also have a Fab Filter Volcano on it, so we can just listen to it, what it does. It makes it a little bit move around, I guess. No, it's just for the frequency. So the frequency is just moving around here by this modulation frequency. And it makes it a little bit more interesting and not that static. Then I also recorded both of the sounds, and I made it or put it into the sampler, and I turned on the Fab Filter Timeless, which is a really nice delay plugin, and it sounds like without. So I made a chord, or I mean there are just two sounds, so a G sharp and a F3. So they are like a fifth, yeah, seventh, sorry. So yeah, we almost have everything. Then let's go to the heads, or maybe just play everything together to this point. So let's go to the heads. It's funny because the whole video is actually about using the corpus, but I just tuned it in the same way, so to 356, and yeah, I was just experimenting all the time. So one thing you want to consider is how long do you want to have your sound, and how much of the tonal part are you going to need. So by adjusting the decay time, you can make it longer or shorter. You really don't want it for the hi-hat. And also by adjusting the dry and wet knob, you can just select how much of the tonal sound you want to come through. So I think 50% is really good here. Then I also got this C78 MISC, so it's some random stuff, I guess. So corpus once again, with the tuning is actually not the same. So here I had a 356.02, and now I have the half of it, so it's an octave deeper. So it makes sense because it's this sounds, and it's the same key basically, and even the same sound, so just an octave deeper. And yeah, I just had some different settings here too. I actually cut the low frequencies because I didn't want to have a lot of them. But funnily enough, oh no, I cut it here too. And then it goes through the timeless delay once again. So without all these things, Then I got a shaker, or it sounds a little bit like a shaker, it's not exactly a shaker. And it's just the rim shot from the kit. Once again the corpus with the really high settings, so I had 178 before, .1, and if you multiply it by 10, then you get 1780, and yeah, that's still in the same key. So then I have a high pass here, because I don't need any of the low frequencies for this kind of sound. A delay, so like a stereo delay, so that you have something moving around your head, something more exciting. A bit reduction, so that you have a little bit more of the noisy, distorted content. It really changes the quality of the sound, but I really liked it. And I think it fits to the bass line and the kick, but without the deep frequencies. And yeah, I have an auto pan. You can use this technique to make like a pseudo compression, sidechain compression, by pulling it up to 100, and the phase should be at 0 degrees, so that they are the left and the right channel are actually at the same position. So by doing that, what you see is basically the volume of the track you are putting it on. And yeah, then you can create some really nice rhythmical stuff with it. So I also got a really basic drum loop, because why not? I mean, it's a shaker with some conga elements, I guess. It almost sounds like a bass drum in a nutshell. And I have some keys which I didn't use actually. So the whole thing together sounds like this. Let's listen to it once again. So as you can see on the master chain, I have some things going on. So first of all, I have like this frequency spectrum, which I just use to kind of orientate myself, you know, like how much of the deep frequencies do I have and so on. And yeah, so this is my, not the complete master chain, but this is what I just came up with. So if it's going to be deeper than 30 Hertz, then you're going to have a problem, because maybe it's way too loud, so it fucks your whole tracks, so you don't want that. I also lowered a little bit the low frequencies here at like 120 Hertz, but I mean, it depends on your track. And I have a compression on it, the SSL compression from Waves. So it's really subtle, it's nothing too crazy what you should hear immediately. It's more about gluing it a little bit more together so that every sound fits to the other. So I also got the NLS channel, which is also from Waves, which you can use to send all your stuff through, and it makes it a little bit sound more glued together as well. So it's the same aspect as the SSL comp. Yeah, then I have the L3 Ultra Maximizer, so to make it a little bit more loud. Then the FabFilter Pro L to limit it. As you can see, it's really limiting a lot, but it's not a lot, because when you are really going to listen to it, when the sound changes, once you begin to cut more and more from the peaks, then you're going to notice that you can't really hear it. So you have to make it quiet all the time too. So you can do it by pressing Alt while moving this around so that your output gain is going down automatically. So it's really nice to check when you really hear the distortion because of the limiting. And I can highly recommend you for dance music to do that. Yeah, then I also have this isotope ozone limiter, so I have a true peak limiting so that I don't have intersample peaks jumping out of my limiter and causing distortion. And yeah, I mean, that's all. I have this Voxengo span here again, so I can see. So this one is my loudness meter, and I use it to check out how loud my mix is, obviously. And yeah, I always try to get it at like -10 LUFS, and I think this one is. Yeah, you can make it a little bit more loud maybe by adjusting here. I think he will survive it. And yeah, I mean, I have the vitamin stereo here to make it a little bit more wide, but I didn't use it yet, so I will just turn it off. And at the end I have the scope just to check out how it would look. So yeah, that's all. I hope you liked the video, and if you're interested to see some more tricks, then feel free to write me everything you would like to see in the comments, and I would be really happy if you would subscribe and like and comment, and yeah, see you soon.